From the Gospel according to John, chapter 21, verses 1 to 14. Jesus revealed himself again to his disciples at the Sea of Tiberias. He revealed himself in this way. Together were Simon Peter, Thomas called Didymus, Nathanael from Cana in Galilee, Zebedee's sons, and two others of his disciples. Simon Peter said to them, "I am going fishing." They said to him, "We also will come with you." So they went out and got into the boat. But that night they caught nothing. When it was already dawn, Jesus was standing on the shore. But the disciples did not realize that it was Jesus. Jesus said to them, "Children, have you caught anything to eat?" They answered him, "No." So he said to them, "Cast the net over the right side of the boat, and you will find something." So they cast it and were not able to pull it in because of the number of fish. So the disciple whom Jesus loved said to Peter, "It is the Lord." When Simon Peter heard that it was the Lord, he tucked in his garment, for he was lightly clad, and jumped into the sea. The other disciples came in the boat, for they were not far from shore, only about 100 yards, dragging the net with the fish. When they climbed out on shore, they saw a charcoal fire with fish on it and bread. Jesus said to them, "Bring some of the fish you just caught." So Simon Peter went over and dragged the net ashore, full of 153 large fish. Even though there were so many, the net was not torn. Jesus said to them, "Come, have breakfast." And none of the disciples dared to ask him, "Who are you?" because they realized it was the Lord. Jesus came over and took the bread and gave it to them, and in like manner the fish. This was now the third time Jesus was revealed to his disciples after being raised from the dead. The Gospel of today's liturgy recounts the third time the risen Jesus appears to the apostles. It is a meeting that takes place by the Lake of Galilee and above all involves Simon Peter. It all begins with him saying to the other disciples, "I am going fishing." There was nothing strange about this since he was a fisherman, but he had abandoned this work from the time he had left his nets on the shore of that very lake in order to follow Jesus. And now, when the risen one keeps them waiting, Peter, perhaps a little disheartened, proposes to the others that he return to his former life. And the others accept. "We will go with you." But that night they caught nothing. And what does Jesus do with Peter? He returns again to the shore of the lake where he had chosen him, Andrew, James, and John. He had chosen all four of them there. He does not reproach them. Jesus does not reproach, he touches the heart, always, but calls the disciples tenderly, "Children." Then he invites them, as before, to cast their nets again courageously, and once again the nets are filled to overflowing. Brothers and sisters, when our nets are empty in life, it is not the time to feel sorry for ourselves, to take our minds off things, to return to old pastimes. It is time to begin again with Jesus. It is time to find the courage to begin again. It is time to put out to sea again with Jesus.